here is a workout for you, seeing as the Pilates classes in Canada are apparently not very good or to your taste. So hopefully this helps you get a bit of a Pilates workout in. So to start off with, let's just revise the Pilates basics again. So remember that when you're doing the workout, you shouldn't feel any pain in the neck, back or joints at any time. If you do, just stop the exercise, give me a call, send me a Facebook message or whatever, and let me know where you're feeling any pain at all. But you should feel the muscles working, but definitely no pain at any time. So remember, we have a specific breathing pattern in Pilates. We inhale through the nose, filling the ribs with air and letting them expand laterally out to the side, and then we exhale through the mouth as the ribs come back together again. So we inhale through the nose, letting the ribs expand out to the side, and then we exhale through the mouth as the ribs come back together. So remember, we want to focus the breathing into the ribs rather than lower down into the stomach, because we want the abs to be working for every exercise that we do. We also have two different spinal positions. We have our neutral spine and our imprinted spine, so let's just go over those quickly again. So if I'm lying down on my back, with my feet on the floor, hip distance apart, my neutral spine is where I have a slight gap between my lower back and the floor. So I should be able to fit my hand just slightly underneath my lower back, between my lower vertebrae and the floor there. And that's my neutral spine. If I have my hands on my pelvis with the palm of my hands on my hip bones and my fingers making a diamond on my pubic bone, my hand should be parallel to the floor. So I don't want my fingers to be higher than my hip bones here, or than the palm of my hands, and I don't want the palm of my hands to be higher than my fingers. It should just be parallel to the floor there. And that's your neutral spine, slight gap between the lower back and the floor there. My imprinted spine is if I just lower the vertebrae of my lower back down towards the floor just slightly. So I'm not crushing my back onto the floor or pressing it too hard at all. I'm just lowering the vertebrae very slightly. And that's my imprinted spine. You want to make sure as you do that, though, that you don't imprint too much where your tailbone is lifting up off the floor. You want to make sure the tailbone is staying down. And it's just a slight depression through the lower back, drawing the vertebrae down towards the floor, and that's our imprinted spine. So the last thing I want to go over with you again is just your T-zone. So remember that the T-zone is literally like a large capital T that's on the front of your pelvis. So the top part of the T connects between your two hip bones, and the lower part of the T, or the vertical part of the T, draws up from your pubic bone to connect to that horizontal line running between your hips. Remember that the vertical line here drawing up from your pubic bone represents your pelvic floor muscles, and the horizontal line connecting between your hip bones represents your transversus abdominis muscle. So to begin activating your T-zone, imagine that you're drawing up that vertical axis of the T, engaging your pelvic floor muscles, lifting them up, holding it there for a few seconds, and then imagine drawing your hip bones together across that horizontal line. So let's do that again. So imagine drawing up the vertical axis of the T, engaging your pelvic floor muscles like you're trying to stop from going to the bathroom, while you also draw your hip bones together, or imagine flattening down across that horizontal line there. Let's do that a few more times. If you grab your two fingers and place them on your hip bones, and then just walk them a few centimeters on the inside of your hip bones, that's where we're going to feel the T-zone working. So let's imagine drawing up that vertical axis of the T, engaging your pelvic floor muscles like you're trying to stop from going to the bathroom, while we flatten down then across that horizontal line, or imagine drawing the hip bones together. Holding it there for a few seconds, you should feel a slight pressure underneath your fingers here, and then letting it go. Letting everything go, and then let's try and do that again. So drawing up the vertical axis of the T, engaging your pelvic floor, and then flattening down along that horizontal line. Should just be a slight pressure underneath your fingers there. Make sure your back's not kicking in and working there at all. It should just be the really deep abdominal muscles under your fingers. Alright, let's do that one more time. So drawing up the axis of the T, the vertical axis, and then flattening along the horizontal line, just for a few seconds, relaxing the ribs as you do that, and letting it all go. Alright, so let's get into the abdominal series. Okay, we're going to get started with bent knee fallout. So this is just a basic abdominal warm-up exercise that we're going to do. So lying down on your back, shoulder blades down and back, the head's down on the floor as well. The hips are square and the feet are hip distance apart. We're going to inhale to prepare, activating the T-zone, and slowly lower one knee out to the side. Exhale to draw that knee back to the original position. Other side. Inhale to lower the left leg. Exhale to draw it back. Alternating legs. Inhale to lower and exhale to draw it back. Good. Keep alternating the legs, and as you do this, really focus on keeping the hips really still. They shouldn't be moving or rocking around at all as you do this. And we're only taking the legs so far out to the side that you can keep your pelvis really still and the T-zone on. So it's not a huge movement that we're doing here. And we're really focused on keeping that T-zone on and tight for all of the exercises. Good. Just a few more seconds here. We inhale to lower, keeping that T-zone on. Exhale to draw the knee back. Good. Just a few more. Inhale to lower and exhale to draw back. Inhale to lower and exhale to draw back. Okay, we're going to go into our toe taps now. So we're going to take the legs into tabletop position. And we're going to lower one toe towards the floor and then coming back up into tabletop. Lowering the other foot down towards the floor and then back up to tabletop. Good. So keep alternating sides. Making sure your tailbone is staying down as you do this. Good. And just tapping the toe onto the floor. Good. Try and make sure you're not dropping that foot. It should just be a really soft touch to the toe. Good. So keeping the T-zone tight and making sure the hips are staying very still as we do this. Good. Relaxing the shoulder blades down and back. The neck and the shoulder should be totally relaxed. No tension at all. Good, so lowering the foot and coming back up. Good, watching that the stomach's not doming at all. Drawing the navel down towards the floor. Nearly there. Just a few more to go. But then as you do this one, the spine should be imprinted because we've got our feet in tabletop. But neutral might be a little bit more comfortable for you. I think I remember neutral worked for you a little bit better last time. So see how you go. Try imprinting first and see if that works for you. Good. To make it a little bit harder, tap the foot a little bit further away from your bottom. Good. Okay, and have a bit of a rest. We're going into abdominal curl. So the first version of abdominal curl here is where we have our feet down on the mat, hands behind the head. We're going to inhale to prepare, draw the shoulder blades down and back. We've got a neutral spine, and we exhale to curl up. The eyes are on the knees. Inhale, come back down. Exhale, curl up, drawing the ribs to the hips. Inhale, back down. Let's do that again. Exhale, curl up. Inhale, back down. Now to make that harder, we can take the legs into tabletop position here as well. So we exhale, curl up, eyes on the knees. Inhale, back down. Keeping the elbows wide out to the side, so we're not bringing the elbows in towards the body, keeping them wide. Inhale, back down. Good. Now as you do this, really focus on drawing the ribs down towards the hips as you do this. A few more to go. Good. Trying not to pull on your neck at all as you do this. So keeping those elbows out to the side, and all the movement should come from the abdominals. Exhale, curl up, inhale, back down. So we're doing this for about a count of 3. So exhale, 2, 3, inhale, 2, 3. Remember, if this is getting too hard, just have the feet down on the floor. That's modification 1. Good, so exhale, 2, 3, inhale, 2, 3. So take your time. Good, and we're going to go into our oblique curl now. So you can still have the feet on the floor, or you can take them up into your tabletop position again. This time we're curling up to one side. So curling up to one side, we're drawing the rib across the body to the opposite hip, and then inhale, back down. Exhale, curl up, drawing the rib across to the opposite hip, and inhale, back down again. Good, keeping the legs really still. And remember, when we do this, we're trying not to bring the elbow to the opposite knee. We're really trying to draw that line across the body, instead drawing the rib towards the opposite hip and coming back down. Keeping the elbows wide. And remember, we can take the feet down onto the floor if that's getting a little bit too challenging. Good, nearly there. Keep the abdominals on and tight as you do this. If you have the feet down on the floor, we want to make sure we have a neutral spine. If your feet are in tabletop as you do this, we want an imprinted spine. Good, keeping the shoulder blades down and back. If your neck's starting to get sore or tired at all, you can have a cushion underneath your head, so you're coming down less of a distance each time. And as you curl up, we're taking the eyes just onto the outside of the knee each time. Alright, we're going into crisscross now, so taking the legs back into tabletop position. We're going to curl up to one side, drawing the rib across the body to the opposite hip and extending the opposite leg long. Coming back to tabletop and resting the head back down. So curling up, extend the opposite leg, back to tabletop and resting the head back down. Good, curling up and extend, really drawing that rib across to the opposite hip and coming back down. Good, reaching through the toes, away from your body. Drawing the navel down towards the mat. Good, and remember we're keeping the elbows as wide as possible as we do this. Trying not to pull on the neck, so we're really focusing on that abdominal work. Exhale to curl up and inhale, come back down. You should really be starting to feel this in the abdominals now. Exhale, curl up. Inhale, back down. Good, nearly there. Exhale, curl up. Inhale, back down. Just a few more on each side. Really focusing on drawing that rib across the body. Keeping the tailbone down as you do this. Just a few more seconds. And have a bit of a rest. Okay, we're going to go into our hundreds preparation now. So for this one, we're going to start with our hands behind our head. We're going to take the legs into our tabletop position here. We're going to inhale to prepare, drawing the shoulder blades down and back and activating your T-zone. We're going to exhale, curl up now and extend the legs. Inhale to come back down. So exhale, curl up again, extend the legs. And inhale to come back down. Good, keeping the elbows wide. And inhale, come back down. So exhale, curl up. And inhale, come back down. So you can either curl up and just extend the legs straight here and come back down. Or you can curl up and extend the legs, turn the toes out to the side and then come out. So you're just really kind of rotating your leg from your hip joint as you do it as well, turning the legs out. Good, keeping that rib-hip connection, hold it there for a second, and coming back down. Good, keeping an imprinted spine as you do this, elbows wide, inhale back down. Use your breath to help you out as you do this. It's really easy to let the abdominals kind of pop out during this one, so really focus on that abdominal work. If you find that you're pulling on your neck a little bit, even though you're trying to keep the elbows out, you can try this one with your hands in imaginary straps like you're on the reformer. Curling up and coming back down. I find that sometimes helps my neck a little bit more rather than having the temptation of pulling on my neck a little bit more. Good, nearly there. And rest. So that's the abdominal series. We're going to go into our glutes next. Okay, so let's go on to our glutes now. So lying down on your side this time, we're going to have the feet in line with your bottom, head resting on your bottom arm, and the top arm can just be resting on the mat in front of you. So we're going into clams first of all, which works your glutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to inhale, prepare, activating the T-zone, and imagine drawing your knee into your hip socket, pressing the heels together, and we're just going to lift the top knee upwards, and then lowering the knee back down. So let's do that again. Imagine drawing the thigh bone into the hip socket, and then we're lifting the knee, and then lowering it back down. Good, so we exhale to lift, Inhale to lower, and our feet or our heels are staying together the whole time as we do this. Good, so we're just doing our basic clam where we're warming up our glute muscles. If you, to help out your glutes, if you're not really feeling it in there, just take your hand and really press it into the top of your bottom there. To really focus on activating your glutes as you do this. Focusing on keeping the hips really still as you do this. And we should have our neutral spine, so a little gap between the waist and the floor. Good. Just a few more. One more. And rest. I'm just going to shuffle up a little bit more. We're going to go into our clam kick out. So this time we're going to switch up our breathing. This time we're going to inhale to lift the knee. Exhale, extend it long. Inhale to come back to clam. And exhale, lower the knee. Let's do that again. So inhale to lift. Exhale, extend. Inhale, the heels come back together. And exhale, rest the knee down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, extend, keeping the hips really still. Inhale, come back, bring the heels back together, and exhale, knee down. Good, so keep going, flattening the stomach. And we're extending the leg right back in line with our hip as we do that. Keeping that neutral spine the whole time. If you need to, take your top hand onto your hip and press that hip away from your top shoulder, creating that gap. If you're struggling to do that a little bit. Good, nearly there. Exhale, extend. Inhale, come back. And exhale, down. Good. And as we're lifting, we're still focusing on drawing that thigh bone in towards your hip. Good. A few more to go. Relaxing that top shoulder. Should be starting to feel that in the bottom now. If you have an ankle weight at home, you can try this with an ankle weight, or if you have a TheraBand, you can tie it up and have it around your knees as you do that. Alright, have a bit of a rest. We're going into rectangles now. So just bringing the bottom leg forwards at a 90-degree angle now. We're going to sweep your top leg back, and we're going to take the leg up a little bit, forward, down, and back. And we're going to flex the foot as we do this. Good. And back. So we go up, forward, down, and back. Now as the leg sweeps back, we're making sure the leg is at hip height, and then when it comes up, it's just slightly above hip height. Good, so remember we need that leg at least at hip height to make sure that we're working the glutes effectively as we do this. Good. Also as you do this, I want you to focus on slightly rolling your top hip forwards as you do this, and really focusing on sticking your bottom back. Increasing that arch in your lower back so that we're really working the glutes here. Good, flexing the foot as well. Good, so we exhale to sweep the leg back and up. Inhale forward and down. Exhale back and up. Inhale forward and down. Good. As you do this, Miss, you might also find that before you do this workout, you roll out on a foam roller as well. If you're finding that you're getting this a lot down the side of your leg like you were last time, rather than in your bottom. Alright, and have a bit of a quick rest. We're going into our bicycles next. So keeping the bottom leg where it is, just going to raise the top the top leg in line with the bottom foot. We're going to extend the top leg, flexing the foot, and sweep it all the way back in line with your bottom. So bending the knee, inhaling, straightening the leg, and exhale, sweep it back. Good, so inhale, bend the knee, straighten the leg, and sweep it all the way back in line with your hip. Good, keeping that little gap between the waist and the floor, flexing that foot as we sweep the leg back. Good, we're relaxing that top shoulder as well. And we're still focusing on drawing the stomach in as we do this. So not letting those abs go at all. Good, nearly there. Should be feeling this in your bottom, maybe a little bit behind the back of your leg as well. Nearly there. Extend, exhale, sweep it back. Remember to keep that top leg at hip height as we do this. A few more seconds left. And remember with this one you can be adding that band or the ankle weight as well to make it a lot harder. Good. Focusing on that slight rotation forwards of your top hip. keeping that T-zone really tight. Good, and have a little bit of a rest. Give your bottom a bit of a tap out. We're going into our straight leg raise now, so this is the really challenging one. So we're going to extend the leg, the top leg forward. So this is the leg back in line with the body. We're going to sweep it forward slightly and turn the toes of the foot down. I'll just move a little bit forward so you can see my toes. Turning the toes down a little bit, rotating the top hip forward slightly. We're going to exhale, lift the foot, inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. So try not to ever lower the foot below hip height if you can. This is one that might get your ITB a little bit if it's really tight. So make sure you do roll out on that foam roller or do the massage down the side of your leg if you are feeling this quite a bit in the ITB or TFL as you go. Keeping that gap between the waist and the floor. One more to go. Good, and have a bit of a break. We're going to go into our kneeling side kick now. So hopping up, we're going to be kneeling on the mat as we do this. Okay. So taking the leg out in front of you, the right hand's down on the mat as we do this. So to do this, what we're going to do is having the hips stacked, facing towards me. We're going to exhale, just lift the top leg up, inhale, lower down. So exhale, lift up, inhale, lower down. Good. Think of lengthening through the body, so pressing that top hip away from the top shoulder. And imagining as you do this that you're like stuck in a toaster, so we don't want to be leaning forwards or leaning backwards that you might get burnt in the toaster. Having the body facing forwards, it's really easy to start twisting or rotating through the body to start cheating with this one. You should be feeling this one in your bottom, in the stabilizing leg to help support your body. But also in the top leg, which is working. Good, so exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Good, keeping the stomach on, top shoulder blade drawing down and back, nearly there. Good, and trying not to rest, this is a challenging one. Good, have a quick rest, tap it out. We're going to do one more set of those kneeling side kick ones before we swap sides. Alright, coming back down, we've got the right hand underneath the shoulder, extending the top leg, just a few more to go. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Nearly there. If you find this is getting a little bit sore in your right wrist, just make a fist with your wrist, your hand instead. Good, and rest. We're going into our other side now, so swapping sides. And have a lie down on the mat. Going into our clams. So remember with our clams, the feet are back in line with the body. And we're going to inhale to repair, flattening the stomach, thinking of drawing the thigh bone up towards your hip and lifting the top knee. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Good. Exhale to lift. Working the bottom, inhale to lower. Good, keeping the hips stacked, but we're just rolling the top hip very slightly forward. Keeping the heels together. Good. Relaxing that top shoulder down. And we've still got that gap between the side of the waist and the floor as we do this. So taking the hand onto the hip and pressing that top hip away. You can also do this one with your feet in the air to make it a little bit harder. Sometimes that can help a little bit with feeling it in the glute as well. Try not to press too much weight into the hand here, really focus on balancing through the body. Good, and have a bit of a rest. Take the feet back down. We're going into our clam kick out now. So we're mixing up the breathing. This time we're inhaling to lift the top knee. Exhale, extend the leg long in line with the bottom. Inhale to come back to clam and exhale, lower the knee back down. So inhale to lift, exhale, extend. Inhale, the feet come back together and exhale, lower the knee. Good, inhale to lift, exhale, extend. Inhale, feet together, And exhale, knee comes down. Once again, we can do this with the feet up as well. I find that this helps a little bit if my ITB or TFL or feeling a bit nasty on a particular day. It just helps me kind of switch them off and focus more on working the glutes instead. But if you are really struggling with this, once again, really focus on, getting your hand in your glute and really waking it up with your hand, pressing your fingers into the glute to wake it up. Good. Having that gap still between the waist and the floor. Nearly there. Good. Keeping that tummy flat. And really using your breath to help you out with these ones because they're hard. So inhale to lift. Exhale, extend. Really reaching through the toes as you do this. So a lot of power through the legs. Try not to let the legs just kind of sag and flop everywhere as you do it. One more. And have a bit of a rest. Okay, so taking the bottom leg and bringing it to a 90-degree angle. The top leg's going to be swept back in line with your hip. We're going to take the leg forward and up, back and down. So forward, up, back and down, going into our rectangles. Good. So try and keep these rectangles small, but it will be more challenging if you make them a little bit larger. So keep that in mind if you want to challenge yourself. Good, flexing the foot. Keeping the hips really still as we do this, trying not to let them move. It's just the leg performing the movement. Good. Still be able to fit your hand between the waist and the floor there. And focus on sticking your bottom back as you do this. So we don't want the back to be kind of flat or rounded in it. We want a bit of a lordosis through the back. Really sticking the bottom backwards. Good, nearly there. So inhale forward and up, exhale back and down. Nearly there. Put our bicycle legs after this one. Good, and have a bit of a break, tap it out, tap the bottom out if it's feeling a little bit sore. Okay, for our bicycle legs now, be in that neutral spine once more, so taking the top hip away from your shoulder, lifting up the knee, we're going to extend the leg, flex the foot and sweep it all the way back in line with the hip. Bending the knee, extending the leg, sorry, sweeping the leg all the way back. Good, so bending the knee, extend, exhale to sweep it back. Good, inhale to bend, extend, sweep it all the way back. That's it. So remember, we're keeping the leg at hip height, so don't have the leg down here. We want it up at hip height, so we're really working through that glute the whole time. Good. Should be really starting to feel this now. The flex the foot as it sweeps back. Good. Relaxing that top shoulder. Oh, this is killing my butt. Nearly there. Good. A few more seconds. Remember that you can be doing these ones with a band or an ankle weight if you've got one. Really focus on keeping those abdominals on the whole time. And have a bit of a rest. Tap it out one more time. The last one we've got here is our straight leg raise. So we're sweeping the top leg forward, turning the toes down towards the floor. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Good. This one's working our really tiny, our smallest glute muscle, the glute min. So you really feel this one a lot more than the others because we're working the smaller muscle here. Good. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Keep pressing that top hip away. Nearly there. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Good. Once again, if you're starting to feel this down the side of the leg, make sure you use your foam roller before class. or really focus on kind of doing that massage that I showed you and your mum how to do. Rolling that top hip forward slightly. Good, and have a bit of a rest. We're going to go into our kneeling side kick now. So hopping up onto our knees. Taking the left hand underneath your left shoulder. And we're extending our right leg. So bringing the hand onto the top hip. The neck is long. Alright, so for this one, we're going to inhale, prepare, flattening the abdominals. Exhale, lift the top leg. Inhale to lower down. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. I think I've decapitated myself a little bit there, but as long as you can see my leg, that's totally fine. Good. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Try not to press too much weight through your hand as you do this. Should be using this stabilizing leg to do a lot of the work. Should be feeling it in the top glute and also the bottom glute to stabilize as well. The hips are stacked so we're not rolling forwards or backwards. Remembering that you're thinking about that you're in a toaster as you do this. Nearly there. Good. And have a bit of a quick rest. I'm going to just tap out your bottom a little bit before we do one more set. Good. Coming back down. Left hand under the left shoulder, extending the right leg, lifting up again. Good, nearly there. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Have a bit of a break. Good. Alright, we're going to go into our hinge next. So for the hinge, we're working the front of our thighs. So I'll probably decapitate myself a little bit for this one as well, but that's totally fine. So for hinge, we're going to start up on our knees. If your knees are getting a little bit sore doing this one, you can place a cushion or some extra padding under your knees. The hands are going to come out in front of you. And what we're going to do is making sure that the bottom is tucked underneath you. We're going to just hinge back through the knees, inhaling. Exhale, come all the way back up. That's keeping the stomach flat. Hinging back, inhaling. Exhale, coming all the way back up. Good. Inhale back, trying to touch the bottom to your heels. And exhale back up. Good. To make that harder, we inhale to come back. Exhale, open the arms out to the side. Bring them back to the front. And all the way back again. So hinging back, open the arms. I can only open that left one so far. Coming back to the front and all the way back up. So for this one, it's harder the further you go back. So if you can get all the way back, that's awesome. Trying to keep the back really still as you do this. So no arching through the back or anything like that. You should be really using the abdominals and the front of your thighs to draw yourself back up as you do this. Good, so hinging back and coming all the way back up. Nearly there. Hinging back. A few more to go. Hold it there for a few seconds. Coming all the way back up. Good. Hinging back. All the way back up. You should really feel this through the front of your thighs now. Also in your bottom as well. Squeezing the bottom. And back up. Nearly there. Keeping the neck long, shoulders down and back. Stomach flat. Good. Last one. Holding back there, hold it there, hold it there, hold it there. Keep breathing. And all the way back up and have a bit of a rest. We're going to go into our stomach now for our arms. So lying down on the stomach. Alright, we're going to go into our breaststroke arm preparation. So for this one, you're going to have your forehead down on the mat, but I'm going to just turn my head so I can talk to you while you're doing this, but usually you'd have your head down on the mat like this. Okay, so taking the arms out to the side at a 90-degree angle, kind of like your, kind of like the stop sign. What we're going to do here is squeeze into your bottom, tuck your pubic bone underneath you, so you're lifting up your stomach up off the floor, but pressing your pubic bone down onto the floor. Drawing the shoulder blades down and back. We're going to exhale, sweep the arms forward along the floor, or sweep the hands forward along the floor. Inhale, sweep them around to the side. So exhale, sweep them forward. Inhale, sweep them around to the side, squeezing the shoulder blades down and back as you do that. So exhale, forward. Inhale, around to the side, drawing the shoulder blades down and back as they come around. So as you do this, it's kind of like you're scrubbing the floor. Think about it that way. So exhale, come forward. Inhale, sweep around to the side, draw the shoulder blades down and back. Good, squeezing into the bottom the whole time while you do this. Especially so that a lot of that pressure doesn't come in through the lower back. So we go inhale, forward. Exhale, sweep the arms around to the side, draw the shoulder blades down and back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, sweep around. A few more. Inhale, forward. Exhale, around to the side. You should be feeling this one in between your shoulder blades. We don't want to be feeling it in the lower back or through your neck or your traps either. Good. So a few more. Inhale, forward. Exhale, around to the side. Inhale, forward. Flattening the stomach, drawing that belly upwards. Good, nearly there. Last one. Good, and have a bit of a rest. We're going to go into our flight now. So we're going to take the arms down by the side of the body. For you, when you're doing this one, make sure you have your head down the whole time, resting down on the mat. I'm going to be lifting mine up just so I can talk to you and you can hear me while I'm doing it. So for flight, this one you might remember, it's a bit of a tricky one. We're working the back of our arms, our triceps, and it's a bit deceptive. It looks quite easy, but it's actually really, really hard when you do it. It's a really simple one to be doing kind of at home that really works your arms and targets your triceps. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to start with the palms facing up towards the ceiling. The arms are straight and the shoulder blades are gliding down and back. Once again, we're squeezing into the bottom, pressing the pubic bone down onto the mat and lifting your belly button up off the floor. Reaching out through the fingers with this one. Keep your forehead down on the floor. We're just going to turn the palms down to the floor and then up to the ceiling. Down to the floor, up to the ceiling, to the floor, to the ceiling. Floor, ceiling, floor, ceiling. Really squeezing the shoulders down and back. Really focusing on reaching through your fingers as you do this. Keeping the arms totally straight, that's really important. Don't start to bend through the arms at all. Keep them totally straight, reaching those fingers towards your toes as you do this. Good. So we're going to inhale for 5 rotations through the hand. And we're going to exhale for 5 rotations. So inhaling, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reaching through those fingers still. Squeezing your bottom. So imagining that you have a $100 bill between your butt cheeks. And squeeze that bill. Hold it there. Don't let it go. Good. Keep the forehead down on the mat. Drawing that stomach in. Try not to let the shoulders round forward as you do this. Keep squeezing the shoulder blades down and back. Inhaling 5 and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. You should really be feeling that in the back of your arms. Good. Have a bit of a rest. We're just going to let everything go for a few seconds. And then we're going to go back and do one more set before we're finished. Alright. You should really be feeling that in the back of those arms. They should be a bit sore. Alright, one more set. Let's go. Drawing the shoulder blades down and back. Squeezing the bottom, lifting the stomach up. Reaching through the fingers. Arms are really straight. Let's go. Palms to the floor, palms to the ceiling. Palms to the floor, to the ceiling. Good. Keep rotating. Nearly there. Head down on the floor. Squeezing your bottom. T-zones tight. Nearly there. Draw the shoulder blades down a little bit more. Good. Reach through those fingers. try and touch your toes. Nearly there. Let's do one more set. Inhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And have a bit of a break. Good. Really nice work. The last one that we're going to do is our tricep circles, which are pretty tricky. See how you go with these ones. We're going to come onto our 4-point kneeling position. So with this one, we've got our knees underneath our hips and our hands underneath our shoulders. So as we do this one, the fingers are spread on the mat, shoulders drawing down and back. So with our tricep circles, once again, we're working the back of our arms. What we want to do for this one is we're going to bend the elbows, and we're actually going to draw the elbows so that the elbows are facing back towards your thighs. So bending the elbows, keep the palms flat. The weight is shifting backwards as we do this. We're going to bring the weight forwards now over your hands, and then pressing up through the hands, straightening the arms, bring the weight back again. So we're bending down, shifting the weight back. Make sure the elbows are pointing down towards your knees. They're not coming out to the side. So we can really target the triceps as we do this. Bring the weight forward so the nose goes over the hands. Press up to straight arms and bring the weight all the way back again. Bending down, elbows come towards the thigh. Draw the weight forward, all the way up and back. Good, bending down. Come forward, keep the body low as you come forward. That's the trick to making it hard. Up and back. Good, coming low, forward, nose over the fingers, up and back. Let's do a few more here. Shoulders down and back. Drawing that stomach up. Good, keeping that body really low to the ground as we come forward as far as we can. And then it's like a push-up upwards. Back, down. Good. Now when you get a little bit stronger at these, you can reverse the direction as well, but we're not going to do that today. Good. This should be really feeling it in the triceps after doing flight. And back, coming down again, shifting that weight forward, up and back. Let's do one more. Coming down, keep the elbows facing back towards the knees, keep the elbows still as we come forward, press up, and then all the way back. Good. Nice job. Let's do a stretch now. So lying down on your back, we're going to take it into our glute stretch supine here. So back on your back. What we're going to do for this one is take our right foot, place it over the left ankle, and draw the knee, your left knee in towards your chest. Taking the right elbow now, place it on your right knee and press that knee away from your chest. Good. So we're drawing the left knee in towards your body, but we're pressing that right knee away. Should be feeling this stretch through the right butt cheek. And just keep breathing here, so drawing the shoulder blades down and back. Feeling that stretch, and as you feel the muscles relax a little bit, draw the knee in a little bit closer towards your body, increasing that stretch. And swap sides, so bringing the left ankle onto the right knee, hands come behind the right knee now, drawing that knee in towards your chest. The left elbow comes to the left knee, pressing it away. Good, relaxing the shoulders. Just a few more breaths here and then we're done. And having a bit of a rest. Hope you liked the workout. Let me know what you thought or if you had any issues. Alright, thanks Miss. Have a good day.